do you feel to be here with us?
Oh, I'm really excited to be back in Hong Kong. This truly is one of my favorite cities, and this tournament has become one of my favorite tournaments to come back and visit, and to have the unique opportunity to be here today with Hublot. Really thank them, and like they said, everything's to be different and unique and first, and I think this venue just is exactly perfect for that. So thank you to our hosts, the Hong Kong Golf and Tennis Academy. It seems to be the perfect venue to have a really fun event today.
咁其實啦，我剛才就係問阿 Justin 啦，其實今次佢都唔係第一次嚟到香港噶啦，但係第一次嚟到我哋 Hong Kong Golf and Tennis Academy。咁佢就話其實香港係佢其中之一個最中意嘅城市啦。今次嚟到我哋 Hong Kong Golf and Tennis Academy， 就正正同我哋 Hublot 就與別不同啦，獨一無二嘅精神啦，好吻合。咁希望咧，相信大家有一個愉快嘅下午噶。Justin, I know you're the Hublot's brand ambassador. I would like to know, why do you choose to collaborate with Hublot to be our brand ambassador?
Well, I mean, I feel very fortunate to be lucky enough to be an ambassador for Hublot. But before I was an ambassador, I was a consumer. I was a purchaser.
Ooh.
So, I really always admired their watches. Actually, in Dubai, in 2012, I kept walking past a shop window every day.
In Dubai.
I love that watch. I love that watch. I love that watch. And I said, if I play well, I'm going to buy that watch. And then on the Sunday, I shot 62, and I came back and I bought that watch. So, so for me, it was good inspiration. I aspired to having it. I aspired to owning one, and that's why I'm very excited to now collaborate with Hublot.
I think Hublot also gives you the motivation to perform the best at every tournament. 咁其實咧，剛才我都問阿 Justin 啦，點解應承擔任我哋 Hublot 宇舶錶嘅品牌大使？咁其實咧，Justin 話佢擔任我哋 Hublot 宇舶錶嘅品牌大使之前，其實佢都一路留意咗 Hublot 宇舶錶好耐㗎啦。咁講翻一個好有趣嘅故事，就喺2012年咧喺杜拜嘅時候，佢嗰陣時參加比賽咧，經常經過 Hublot 嘅門店，見到隻錶啊好靚，好想買，跟住佢就鼓勵自己啊，如果我今日咧打得好好嘅成績嘅時候咧，就買一隻獎勵自己啊！咁當然啦，嗰日佢就打咗一個非常之好嘅成績出嚟，咁就買咗一隻 Hublot 錶獎勵佢啦。好，well now Justin, I know you're also a big fan of Hublot watch. Now, actually, today is a Big Bang Uniqlo Golf Launch event. I think, ladies and gentlemen, it's very excited to unveil this novelty. Why don't you stay on stage and watch a video with us?
Please, I'm excited.
喺呢個時候咧，我相信咁多位傳媒朋友都急不及待想睇下我哋品牌嘅全新換錶。不如事不宜遲，我哋一齊去片。Let's look, Justin. Definitely, I would want to invite you. How do you feel at this moment with this watch on your hand? Do you like it?
Well, my first impression is how sporty it feels and how sporty it looks, and that for me is something I feel very passionate about. I want golf to be really treated as not a pastime but as a sport, as an athletic sport. So it feels very athletic and sporty, which is what I love about it. It's so light. The first thing I wanted to do was swing with it because I can see it. I can hardly feel it on my wrist.
Everybody can do this. It just takes a little bit of practice and it's knowledge. I tell people I'm a magician and I try to share these secrets with you. Having Justin out here today, I mean, these are some unbelievably good secrets to have. And I think if you apply some of this, it really will work.
And the other real key is obviously I'm talking a lot about setup, but then once you set up, then it's imperative to stay still. There's no point being in a good setup position and then swaying, because suddenly you've moved the low point and you're not managing. The club basically hinges a little bit, and then it wants to unhinge, and pretty much by the time we get to impact, it's going to be within a degree or two of returning to a straight line with the left arm. So yeah, staying still over it is basically my other key.
Good shot.
If I had a good lie, that would be my go-to shot. But if the lie was like for example, like that. It doesn't look that much different, but I feel like I can't quite get under the ball. There's a chance it's going to ride up the club face and come out with topspin. Then I'm going to go for the running shot.
Yes.
So I'm always dictated by my lie first and foremost.
I think that's the number one point, and this is what we talk about with a lot of our students. The worst thing we run into is they don't know what the lie is.
Yeah.
They think every lie is good, or they don't know what it is. And so what we try to teach everybody is exactly what Justin just said. He was just talking about the lie. You couldn't see it, but the difference between the two lies is tremendously different. It's
Yeah.
totally different shots, totally different clubs maybe.
100%. I mean, the difference between these two lies, when I sold my club here, I feel like I can get underneath the ball cleanly. Where this one here, I feel like there's a chance these blades of grass get trapped between the ball and my leading edge. And with this one, there's a risk that it didn't have quite as much spin on it. I call it can come out tumbling.
That's right.
You know, and it tumbles forward and a bit more out of control.
You lose the spin.
And when you play on really quick greens, the spin on the third bounce is exactly what you need to control the ball. So the ball always goes, especially if you have any momentum when it goes bounce, bounce, check. It's the third bounce.
That's my favorite shot. I
Yeah.
go double bounce and then watch it just
Yeah.
die in there.
You know, when you throw a ball, watch, one bounce, two bounce, then it's on the ground. You know, the third bounce, it's literally on the ground. Yeah, I mean, that's always just the way I like to view it. 1, 2, and then it's on the ground.
Yeah, that's a great demonstration.
And that's actually, it's actually a good way to practice in terms of trajectory. With 1 yard on the green, what trajectory do I need to hit this shot? You know, and if there was a pin just here, you know, what trajectory do I need to hit?
That's right.
So that's a good way to visualize it.
Yeah.
You know, with that one back there. Obviously I didn't quite land on the green, but it kind of gives you an idea of the trajectory to start off.
And this is something very few players do. They don't look at the green as closely as what Justin just said. And I think by rolling a ball, we used to do that on the tour years ago.
Right.
With Jack, I'd go out here and I'd throw the ball and roll it out one way, throw it another way, throw it exactly what Justin just did. And that's very interesting because you just said that, and we used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So that's right.
Another one of my favorite drills when I'm practicing. This one maybe, I don't know, let's try my 52 degree, it looks about right. Obviously there's a bit of right to left break here, but I'll set up a ball on a tee and practice. That's my landing point. Now that's where I feel like I want to land the ball to get it to the hole.
Shay, this is awesome. This is pure. Yeah.
You know. Or if you have maybe something a little bit more like a disc or just something to aim at. But I think it's a good, when you're talking with your students, get them to predict where they think they have to land the ball.
That's right.
And then go ahead and see if they get the right trajectory.
Now that's awesome. How do you do that? That's pretty good.
It's too much hard work for you to tee them up every time.
That's enough of that one.
So, if you don't mind me just to keep talking,
Yeah,
I'll just keep
you're good.
talking. But you know, as I progress through my wedge play, I go through what I call a clock face theory to control my distance. So for me, I use my left arm as the clock face, which is very apt today, being with Hublot. So when I get my left arm to 9 o'clock, and I just sort of have rhythm's the most important glue to all of this, but when my left arm gets to 9 o'clock and I just gently accelerate, that's about 50 yards that the ball's going to fly. So if I'm looking at that second pin over there, I would say 50 yards is going to put me somewhere between the front edge of that green and the green flag. So I'm going to swing at my left arm to 9 o'clock, gently accelerate. You know, it's going to put me somewhere between the...
His distance is actually quite good. It's 54 yards to the flag, so.
So you can see how consistent that is. I mean, that's just physics, really. If I'm just swinging it, like I said, the rhythm is the important thing. But 9 o'clock, didn't strike that one quite as good, but yeah, you can see they're always going to be within 2 or 3 yards. There's always a tolerance, but it's going to be fairly tight. And then I take that left arm to 10 o'clock, and then I've got something in the 80-yard range.
Let's see here. Go up blue flag.
Blue flag? There's my 10 o'clock 60, and then a full one is kind of a similar length, but it's just got more turn. You know, the one I call 10 o'clock is I'm actually just really hands and arming it. There's not a lot of rotation and coil. But then a full swing, which would be probably in the 95-yard range. Probably won't get to that white flag, but might get close.
By the way, it's 95 yards to the flag.
Okay.
Did about 89. Okay.
It's actually about a 92-yard club for me, so that's
pretty good.
not far off. So yeah, that's how I regulate my distance. And obviously, I had the same set of swings with my 56 degree, the same set of swings with my 52 degree, and the pitching wedge. So between 135 and 50, I have a whole matrix of distances that I can call upon.
You said something about rhythm and timing, just keeping it the same all the time.
Yeah.
It was really funny years and years ago. We had Jim Flick, Martin Hall, I don't know if you know Martin, and myself. We were out timing Jack. And his rhythm was exactly the same when he went up with the driver, the 5-iron.
Okay.
Everything was the exact same thing. And when you just mentioned about the rhythm, and you use the same thing, and you just get your arm and you move it back, and it's awesome what you just said.
Yeah, because our brain intuitively knows how far we want to hit the ball. So if I take it back the right distance, but I have the wrong rhythm, suddenly I'm going to have to do something because my brain knows I need to hit it that far. So for me, it is about rhythm. You know, if I put enough energy in the backswing, I can then cruise through the downswing.
Do you do anything specifically for the rhythm? I mean, when you practice?
With my putting, I do. There's an app called the Tour Tempo app, and it just it's like a metronome, but just a simple metronome. You know, there we go, beep beep beep. You know,
Yeah.
that's you start on the beep, backswings on another beep, impacts on another beep. Just starting to fit your rhythm into somewhat of a framework.
I think that's a great point for people to practice a little bit, so when they're out there, they have to know how to practice.
Welcome to Hong Kong again. I know you've been in Hong Kong for a few times already, but this is definitely your first time to be here at the Hong Kong Golf and Tennis Academy. How do you feel to be in here? And also, just now, I think you spent some time with Billy and his team.
Absolutely.
How was the experience?
It's been an amazing experience today. Just such a unique facility to be out here. Hong Kong is one of my favorite cities in the whole world. Really look forward to this one. Coming back here, the golf course is one of the most fun on the golf. So traditional, so unchanged year after year, and I think the players really appreciate playing this golf course. But yeah, from the hotels to the food to the city to the nightlife to the everything here tonight. I think obviously it's fantastic to be able to share it with you all, and thank you to Hublot for creating this very unique and special event. I think that's kind of your guys' MO, is doing things differently, doing things unique, being the best at it. And I think obviously to come to a unique occasion and to share it with all of you is it's a lot of fun for me.
其實咧，剛才我就問阿 Justin 啦，咁基本上其實佢嚟過香港好多次㗎，第一次嚟到我哋 Hong Kong Golf and Tennis Academy 感受如何啦？咁大家都知道其實阿 Justin 剛才講香港對佢嚟講係其中之一個佢好中意嘅城市嚟㗎。咁可以話香港啦，同佢同埋 Hublot 都一樣，其實都係好與別不同，同埋亦都係獨一無二㗎。咁所以今日咧，希望大家可以透過接住落嚟佢為大家表演嘅高爾夫球示範，同埋高爾夫球教室，可以俾到一啲唔同嘅見解大家㗎。And Justin, I would like to know. I know you're Hublot's brand ambassador. Why do you choose to collaborate with Hublot and become our brand ambassador?
So it's a great question. I feel very honored to be the ambassador, or one of the ambassadors for Hublot. But before I was an ambassador, I was a consumer. I aspired to buy the watch. I was just sharing earlier, one of the funny stories for me is that in Dubai in 2012, I walked past this window in the hotel that I was staying, and I saw this beautiful Big Bang King Power, all carbon. I was like, man, I love that watch. Next day I go to the golf course, man, I love that watch. The next day, walk past it again, oh, I need that watch. So I said to myself, if I play well, I'm going to buy that watch. And then on Sunday, I shot 62.
Wow!
Came back and bought the
You
watch.
rewarded yourself and bought the watch.
So it was kind of a brand and a watch that I aspired to. So it's kind of full circle moment really for me to be now here with you guys as an ambassador for Hublot.
其實大家都知道啦，Justin 係我哋 Hublot 嘅品牌大使嚟㗎。咁當初啦，我就問阿 Justin，其實佢點解選擇擔任我哋 Hublot 嘅品牌大使？就佢可以話，其實擔任我哋嘅品牌大之前呢，佢就係我哋其中之一個，可以話係消費者同埋係我哋嘅 fans 嚟嘅。因為喺2012年喺杜拜嘅時候，佢喺佢住嘅酒店，每一次經過見到一隻 Hublot 嘅錶嘅時候咧，都覺得好靚。第二日經過我好想要，第三日經過我一定要買佢。如果我打得好嘅時候，最後佢星期日打出一個62杆出嚟咧，佢就即刻獎勵自己買咗一隻 Hublot 錶啦。所以今次佢好榮幸可以擔任我哋 Hublot 宇舶錶嘅品牌大使。And now, talking about Hublot watch again, today it's actually the official launch of Hublot's and other important timepiece, which is the Hublot Big Band Unico Golf. Ladies and gentlemen, we have prepared a fascinating video about this novelty. Please enjoy. 喺呢個時候咧，不如我哋一齊欣賞下呢個 Hublot Big Band Unico Golf 嘅短片，請大家細心欣賞。睇咗咁精彩嘅短片，梗係唔夠喉啦！喺呢個時候，我哋有請工作人員將 Big Band Unico Golf 嘅真身帶到嚟台前，有請。同時咧，我哋亦都有請我哋工作人員為 Justin 帶上呢隻 Big Band Unico Golf。Yes, it's actually.
So obviously I'd change my angle a little bit, get that a bit more in line. You see that hit it on the second bounce, so technically not perfect. Right, but you guys get the idea, yeah? But this is a fun way to practice. And then the other thing that I do is using the awareness, what we were talking about earlier. I will keep my head down and then I'll say land when I think it's going to land. Land.
How many of you practice like that? I mean, how many of you put a tee out here and just try to hit a ball? Earlier we did this, and Justin, we had the tee right here, and I think you knocked it off 3 times? 3 out of 3? I think
yeah, we had like a little, 7-iron shot, or actually it was my 52 degree, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, that's obviously much harder.
What he's doing right now, is, I'm going to tell you, it's pretty hard. And he's making it look easy. So
I don't know, but from that point, that lands the ball about 50 yards. If I go to 10 o'clock and gently accelerate, that lands the ball about 80 yards. So anyway, the green flag should be a pretty good indicator here of, this ball should land somewhere between the front edge of the green and the green flag. So 9 o'clock arm swing with my left arm, and just a gentle acceleration. A little hard.
How's the aim?
See, I felt it immediately. I was like, I hit that too hard. All right, let's do a better job.
Wow. Now, do you guys notice anything that he's doing with his rhythm? Watch his rhythm. It's very consistent. Very consistent here.
That was a better one. That one was well executed. That was my number.
Yep. Excellent shot.
Yeah. So that is interesting you talk about rhythm because, I could go to 9 o'clock, and I could hit it 85 yards. or I could go to 9 o'clock and hit it 10 yards. So the rhythm is really critical.
Rhythm is always better than mechanics in a lot of situations, and if you have good rhythm, you'll probably have pretty good shots.
I agree, for sure. And I think the worst type of rhythm would be short and slow, and then really trying to do something with the chip. That's death,
Quick death.
Yeah, that you're going to hit some pretty horrible shots there. So I think always, I think a way to match rhythm sometimes is to almost take your t-shirt, whatever it might be, make your arms connected to your body, because if I'm to do that and I'm not going to let my arms kind of move independently, I'm going to have to, sometimes this is the engine. I'm going to have to get it moving a little bit.
That's right.
And you don't want any what I call flash speed with short game. You want your hands to be quite passive and soft.
And it's interesting that Justin just mentioned this, quiet, passive hands. I was taught by a guy named Eddie Bush down at Doral Country Club years and years ago. And he said, if you want to be a good short game player, the first thing you have to have is quiet, passive hands. And he said that quote, unquote. And so Justin just said it right now. So this is really important for you. So if you can remember a couple of things we're getting out of this tonight, I think it's very valuable.
Here's another theory for you. If I want to hit a low-driven shot that has a lot of energy on it, I'm going to go what I call long arc. Everything's going to be quite long. Not much wrist set, but this actually creates quite a heavy hit on the ball. So if I have a back pin, for example, something longer than this, but let's just say something, just pitching it over the end of this green, and I have a bit of room to work with. So I would go long arc. So again, not much wrist break. I'd be using my torso. See kind of the low, it has like a bit of a driven flight. If I want to hit a soft shot, I would go with what I call a very short arc, which means, my hands aren't really traveling very far. This is where Seve was unbelievable.
Yes.
Seve would actually shorten the arc even more, or shorten the radius, I should say. This is a long radius, and this is a short radius. Basically, the distance between the ball and me is now much smaller, versus here it's very long, that radius, and that creates the option for the ball to come out softer. So if I need to get one really coming out soft, I'm going to get down to the ball. I'm going to crack my elbows. This is how Seve used to do it. Crack his elbows, and then really, you can see the grip's not moving very far at all. So, on a super fast green or at Augusta, you kind of just get one popping out soft.
And that's a great thing for people to see, because you don't stick to just one idea. You have multiple thoughts. And when you walk in here, what Justin just did was fantastic. Because Seve was, I don't know, to me he's the best short game player, maybe next to you.
It's funny because he didn't look like he had a lot of hand action either.
No.
But he would always kind of he was just very expressive with his setup and his posture. He'd be like almost like a cat prowling a shot. He'd be like really kind of into it, and you know what I mean? He would be setting up to the shot.
Yeah, you and I can see that. You guys, you should look it up sometime. You should see Seve. He was the most amazing short game player you'd ever seen. He could make that ball dance so well, and he did it under pressure. So this is a great idea for you to use.
All right, one more 9 o'clock.
Judd? You missed the shot. Wow, I'm disappointed. Do you want to try to do the shots that we want to do?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can you keep your weight distribution 60-40 at all times?
Even with this,
That one or the one before,
yeah, even the one that I was getting soft. Yeah, I always feel like I'm anchoring a club like this.
I like that one. Where's Chase now?
So yeah, I mean, you can kind of hit it super,
That's pretty good.
you know.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff. Okay, I expect all of you tomorrow to be out here practicing that shot. I know.
But one thing you might
Me,
notice
not-
there,
not right now.
one thing you might notice there is the ball kind of came out left, but the face was wide open, right? That's because I've really dropped my hands low. And now, could you pass one of those sticks in my bag there? Yeah, one of those things. So if I kind of just actually put it here, you'll actually see where that loft is pointing, right? Versus if I have this, and I open it, now it's pointing to the right, but as I put my hands down, it kind of points the loft further to the left. So you can have it way open, but you don't have to stand necessarily way open by lowering the handle. Because now you can see, the more I lower the handle, the loft's like way over here. So that's why the more I open it up, the more I drop the hands. Yeah, it's not, need a little grass.
That's a pretty awesome shot, guys. You guys don't even clap for, you gotta clap, give them a hand. Yes, we do. Yes.
I know that gravity is very important. So how do you use gravity to hit a good shot?
Gravity. Okay. So I think, luckily, gravity is going to make the ball come down, which is important. But I think I know what you mean. So I think gravity and rhythm go hand in hand. So I think when I'm hitting this shot and I make a backswing, one thing I really focus on is hand speed. And I think that what you're talking about is the gravity of just letting your arms fall. And when you let your arms fall, like, one thing that happens is the club overtakes much quicker. It's an overtaking rate. And that's one of the best ways to hit the softest shot, is to let gravity. So I often think about my glove, this white area, as hand speed. And if I just get to the top and let it fall, you can see the overtaking rate here, how the club went. I can't do that if I get quick. If my hand speed into impact is too quick, see how the club is much more in one line here. So if I'm quick with the glove, it's like, it's a line. If I'm slow with the glove, this takes over.
Felicia, you get what he just said?
That's
the
a
arms
quite
fall at
technical.
gravity. The arms fall at gravity, okay, but the hands are moving fast. Basically, that's basically the idea.
So yeah, the idea is don't be scared just to sometimes just let the hands fall. You don't have to do too much.
That's right.
But you've got to build in enough in the backswing. So nice bit of rhythm. Let the hands fall.
Yeah.
You know, it's a high, soft shot.
Good question.
And, really golf ball and groove interaction. So, and surface. I don't think on this green we're going to get the ball really spinning back, because I think the first bounce is sandy. So it's kind of, it's taking the spin initially. It's reacting very much like a green, but to get spin, you need that first bounce to be skidding through, and then the spin takes effect, rather than just landing dead. So to actually get the ball coming back, you need basically, the first ingredient is speed. You need to have a lot of speed in the swing. That's what's creating the spin. How far is that white flag? We said 90 something.
Yeah, it was 90, 91.
95.
He wants to be a caddy.
That might be a little long.
That's some spot.
So you spun down the hill.
Yeah.
So it's smooth. It's a natural consequence of the length of shot, really. But the more loft I put on the club, the more speed I can put to not make the ball go too far. That's how, if you really need to hit one with a lot of spin around the green, you need to go more loft, more speed, is how you would try and get spin. Those are the two ingredients, really. But it comes through good contact. But it comes through a lot of factors, turf conditions, green conditions. It's not something you can just say, okay, I'm putting 20 foot of spin on this one. There's so many variables. Yeah, so basically, when it comes to spinning the ball out of the bunker, it's about how much friction. And basically, to get spin out of the bunker, you need to get closer and closer and closer to the ball. If you take too much sand, there's never friction on the ball. So it's just going to roll out. But if you get very close to the ball, you create that friction, and it can come out with some spin.
If you had any piece of advice you'd give for a beginner golfer, what would that one piece of advice be?
It's a great piece of advice. I would say, I don't think, if you're looking at lowering your handicap or lowering your scores, I was given a piece of advice by former Ryder Cup captain Bernard Gallagher when I was about your age. I actually won a competition, and one of the benefits was staying at his house. And he just said to me simply, if you want to make it to the top, you've got to practice your short game. Simple as that. Short game, short game, short game. But short game needs to be fun, and it needs to be playful, and you need to play games with yourself out there. You know, you can kind of, I've holed the putt to win the Open Championship 1,000 times. You know, when I was your age, I was out there, this one's for the Open, or I would go deep into the trees at my home course and say, okay, how many shots can I get the ball in the hole from here? And it would be like, chip to this gap, chip to that, you know, like navigating my way through the woods. So, you know, you've got to kind of make it creative and fun.
I think that's really well said. I think too many people get hung up in the mechanics, and what we need to do is just really have fun. That's why you come out here, and to think of the games. And that's where your coaches come into play, because they can show you some of these games that you can play. And I think with the tee out here, that was an awesome shot, you know, to put the ball in the tee.
Yeah,
and
it's fun to try and knock it off, right?
It's kind of boring to sit here and say, well, let's see, I got to take the club up to here, and I got to drop it down. You know, that's kind of boring. And I think that's a well-said statement.
For sure.
You want to
let's
show them the shot that won the United States Open?
And I kind of hit it that far. I duffed it. So that was in the back of my mind. So if I was playing the hole from this direction, my second shot came in, rolled past the pin, looked like it was going to be very good, just trickled out. And it kind of ended up in a situation like this, where I didn't have a particularly good lie. And when I'm saying not a particularly good lie, there was some sort of strands of grass behind the ball. Now, what I was talking about earlier about coming down into the back of the ball, I wasn't confident that I was going to make contact with the ball. Potentially, I was going to get that cushion of grass between me and the ball. And if that happens, there's no club head speed because I'm going this far. So it was only ever going to be that type of chip, and if I don't get contact, the ball's going to finish here. So that's what I couldn't risk. So I improvised. Wasn't really a shot that I've practiced, because I was on a slight upslope actually as well. But this was like the rough was probably this long. So all I had to do was kind of get the ball over this initial 6-8 inches of rough, and then it would pretty much react like a putt. So what I did is I took my 3-wood, I put my hands back to create more loft, and basically just a putting stroke. And I did better than that.
Yes, he did. He did a lot better than that. And one thing that, Justin, you didn't add to the whole mix of things, it is he knows what this particular shot is worth to him, and it's on the 18th green.
And that's pretty much how it went, actually. Actually, that's exactly
That's
how
exactly
it
what he did.
Just missed it on the left edge, and with my hand shaking, even I could make it from 2 or 3 inches, so that was fun.
Maybe we were talking before, James and I were talking about at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Maybe this might be one of your greatest shots you've ever hit. Maybe, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
I'll attempt it to that bunker. I'll try and describe the shot basically. Yeah, it was the 18th hole in Rio. Henrik Stenson and I were tied for the lead. It was a par 5. I'd laid it up a long way down the left-hand side. Henrik was down the right-hand side, and he had a shot where he had to come up a ridge, and the pin was on a little shelf, and then there was a bunker behind the hole. So he had a very difficult angle, but he hit a shot, and he came up short, and it rolled back down the ridge. I was a little further to the left, and I had an opportunity to hit it a bit more up the level of the green. So it's tough to create it perfectly here, but let's just say if I could land it on the front edge of this green towards the Hublot sign, that's about the length shot that I had. Maybe a fraction shorter, but this is about the length. And the critical thing for me was, when I was taking my practice swings, a little bit like this here, I was like, ooh, that's a sandy lie. You know, except there's a little less grass. So when you have a sandy, tight lie, in the back of your mind, you've got this. You know that's an option. Right? If you take it just a tiny bit heavy.
That's a big option for all of us.
Yeah.
And imagine at his level, what his thinking.
And truthfully, that's going through my mind, even at that stage. So every time I take my practice swing, I'm aware of the consequences because I can just feel the turf. So that's when I had to really trust my training, trust my routine that I was telling you guys about earlier. So I got into it. I saw the flight that I wanted to create. Brought my awareness back to the ball, went out to my target, came back and reacted.
Oh, I think that's pretty good right there.
And that's pretty, yeah, so that's kind of, and that was the type of flight. It was like a low nipped, one bit of check, and again, it went up to a couple of feet, which was lovely.
I think, Justin, on that one, what got me, and I don't know about you guys that have watched this before, is that the pressure. And I know that this didn't go through your mind, but it could have been in your mind, is that this is for the first gold medal for such a long time. This is a very, very big tournament. This is a very, very prestigious thing to have. And he actually executed it so perfectly.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the routine, like you said, that stays in the present. That's something that we all can do to get better at. And this is, I think that's well said.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think day to day when I'm playing in a tournament or hole to hole, you'll have thoughts that you don't want. You can never escape those thoughts. But, it's all about execution. And it's about having a routine and a mindset that when it actually comes to hitting the shot, you're clear and focused. Right. It's, you can't keep it at bay all the time. But it's okay. They're arbitrary thoughts. Just let them go.
And if you really want to know something, he actually did it under the pressure of the gun. And that's what's amazing. So that always amazes me about these athletes is that they're so good at doing it under the gun. And that was cool.
Thank you.
Now, one more shot before we let them go eat dinner tonight and let them have a good night.
Okay.
Open Championship, amateur.
Yep.
You're right in there, and you go up and you hit this particular shot, which I expect you to do again. So
Actually, it was about 50 yards. We could use this green flag.
Okay.
In grass, wispy grass, not like thick rough, but I was in grass kind of this high. But what made it, because a lot of people thought that I holed out from like 100 yards, but it really wasn't that far. It was because I had a full swing.
Right.
I had to get the ball, because I was coming out of the rough, I had no option for spin. So the only other option of stopping the ball is through land angle, just dropping it out of the sky. So basically, this is one where I did open up a little bit, and I basically just gave it a bit of a heave-ho out of the rough. It's kind of like a big parachute type shot.
It didn't go in.
Didn't go in this time. It went in the right time, though.
That's exactly what we were just saying. When it counted, he did it. Now it doesn't. Yeah, it's okay. Now, I think all three of these shots that Justin has just discussed, it goes back to routine, goes back to having fun doing the shot. I think you've done it quite well.
Thank you.
It's, as a teacher looking at it, it makes it easy to be able to convey these thoughts to you. As a player, I'm impressed with what he's doing as far as his diversity, how he changes things around. But there's one basic thing that he did tonight, that Justin did, I thought was so well, is in the setup, everything was on the left side, pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much, about
Yep.
60%, everything.
Yep, I think so.
And that all goes back to the angle of attack coming into the ball. And I think that it takes away the thinking process, makes it very simple. You do the same thing over and over again.
Contact, 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 contact.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's very good. Do we have any questions? We got about 5 minutes left, and then we have to let this poor man.
I wanted to just
go
do a
back.
couple playful things, just a second.
Okay.
Just, I don't know, just hit a couple weird shots. Stuff that's fun. Like a full 7-iron.
Should we do the bunker shot? Nah.
Try and skip one up the water there.
Oh, skipped it off the rock, though. You know, we use these rocks for that.
I like it. Right,
We have a lot of different targets here.
there's one little bit of water there. Let's see if we can.
Skip, baby. See, we used to play a game that how many skips you get a skin. So,
So, you know, those are all the types of fun things where you can mess around and, yeah, keep it fun, keep it interesting for the kids.
I think that when you watch Justin play this game,